Hey, it's Kareem from Keeper's Nursery. Today is the 6th of September 2025 and I'm making a video finally about pears. So, doing a video about pears is quite tricky. This is the early season. So, early season pears are much easier to talk about and show in a video because they tend to actually ripen on the tree. The thing about pears compared to apples, pears are uh, there is a much shorter window where a pear is going to be ripe, and you have to catch the pears when they are ripe, and they are absolutely sublime if you can catch them well. But if you are early, they tend to be quite rock hard, and if you're late, they tend to be, well, they can go brown inside, but they go over. So if you think about a summer apple, that tends to have that problem as well, where basically if you come at it too early, it's a bit starchy. If you get it right, that's great, but you also know that you can't really store them for that long, and you can't if you miss them, they're a bit mushy. Obviously later season pears, you tend to ripen those in the house. They're sort of rock hard when you pick them and you leave them. You can usually tell when a pear is ripe when they do actually indicate, a bit like bananas, they change color. They tend to sort of start to glow a little bit. They go from a sort of green, the skin appearance goes from sort of a dullish green to suddenly glowing, a sort of glowing yellowy color, generally speaking. Obviously not all pears are yellow, but you can tell. Sometimes the problem is that the pears that are ripe on the tree are actually glowing, but they've gone over. So you do have to know how to pick each pear. So this makes it more complicated than apples, because apples are very forgiving. You can sort of pick them, eat them off the tree, take them to your house, and when they sort of, apart from summer apples, you can sort of have them lying around in the house for a week or so, or 2 weeks sometimes, or if it's a later season apple, substantially longer than that. Yes, they do sort of soften a little bit, they dry out, maybe not so much the russets, but you still enjoy the experience. Pears will go very mushy very quickly and are almost completely useless at that stage. So that's quite a big thing to be wary of. But growing your own pears is great. Obviously commercial varieties of pears are going to be rock hard. The lovely buttery pears, so a lot of pears have the name beurre in. So whilst in England, beurre means butter in French. So whilst in England we were sort of, I say we, the gentry had their fancy estates, and their head gardeners would tend to be breeding apples. Our climate was more suitable for apples. In France, which is slightly more south, slightly warmer than England, they had a more suitable climate for these very sweet pears. So they had all these beurre pears, which means buttery, and they were breeding those. I'm sure there are apples and pears. I mean, I know there are apples and pears from other countries as well, but during, I guess, the Victorian period, there was a lot of quite sort of high level breeding going on, with basically because of high society. People wanted to show off the best fruit at these parties. That's why apples are called dessert apples. It means that you had it for dessert, which was basically just fresh fruit at its finest, as basically pudding. It's what you had after, at a fancy meal after your food. You didn't have sort of sticky toffee pudding, you didn't have ice cream, you had just very nice apples served as they are, or very nice pears, or I guess other fruits as well, plums or whatever. But you the drive, basically there was money behind it, so there was a drive to create better and better things, which I am very grateful for. I'm not slagging off sort of high society, saying these people with their fancy estates and head gardeners did a bad thing. No, they did a great thing. And they obviously, if you just left it to nature and just basically seeds were everywhere and you just find things and no one actually bred anything, we probably wouldn't have the great range of varieties that we have in England. Certainly people weren't sort of curious and chasing certain flavors and tastes, and it's maybe something that's not happening now. Hopefully with my breeding I will bring some of that back to these shores. Anyway, let's go. These are summer varieties. I have to take I've just had a full English breakfast. Not great planning for tasting loads of pears, but I have to take one of my sons to rugby club soon, so we'll do the video. I will show all the pears. Oh, wow, that's a nice 5-minute introduction. Thank you if you're still here. This is a Concord. So pears are very, very pretty as well. These are not ripe yet. I can tell because I know Concord, but I mean, it's a great cropping tree. It doesn't tend to, I'll talk about all pears, it doesn't tend to branch well, so it's very tricky to train as a espalier. Obviously it looks a lot like a conference, which is a very well-known commercial variety. This is much, I think this is nicer than a conference. It's bigger, the fruit is reliably nicer. It ripens, I believe, slightly earlier as well. Not ripe yet. Beth is the next pear on the, so there's loads of Beths on the floor. Those are completely spent. I mean, this is what I mean. Okay, that one's not too bad. Okay, yeah. So you can see when a pear goes, it goes. That's no good. So some of them will still be all right. Beth is a lovely pear. It does, as an early season pear, it's one of the best ones in my opinion, but you have to catch it right. Don't know if these will still be any good. No, that one's still good. Obviously in the shade, it's ripened a bit later, which is perfect. You know, that's one of the nice things about having a tree. Some of the fruit is later. So, for example, on this Ditchisham Ploughman, some of the, you know, I've still got lovely gauges down there to try, or plums, I guess. This is a very nice pear. It is buttery. It's not as nice as a Williams, I have to say. Lovely sort of pale colour, smaller than a Williams, goes over much quicker. So William Bon Cretin is probably the most famous early season pear. It is absolutely fantastic. This is up there with it. I'd say it's slightly more acidic, maybe doesn't have the quite floral depth of flavour, but that is fantastic. If you can get your hands on a Beth, it is very good. It's slightly, I'm gonna say limey more than lemony. That's a shame. I'm gonna chuck this on the floor, but I have other pears to eat as well. I have pruned these back because we're gonna do a I say we, the I might be on a certain BBC program about the world of gardening, known as Gardener's World, in I don't know when, but they might come and film. Well, they should come and film in a couple of weeks. So I'm making the nursery I'm trying to make the nursery look good for that. Okay, beurre clairgeur, that's not quite ready. You can tell basically these are rock hard. Next one is Clap's favorite is overripe. I mean, look at that. That's the last one on the tree. It's okay. My son liked these straight off the tree quite a few weeks ago. You can see they stay on the tree and go completely. That's not. It's not a brown pear like this one next door. It's just gone. That's Highland. That's not ripe either. These are the tricky type of pears to pick because you just have to pick them and leave them in your house and go from there. Dr. Jules, yeah, okay, there's one there. Okay, so this variety is Dr. Jules Guillot. I think this will probably be okay. Straight off the tree. What can I say? It's pear-shaped. It's gone a bit. It doesn't have the, I mean, the acidity's gone, but it has an interesting flavour, but it doesn't carry as well as the Williams. So it's got a weird, slight funky flavour to it, which I think the Williams overcomes by being sweeter. So it's got that pear flavour, but maybe not quite enough sugar in it. So I mean, I'm just going to say Williams is the best pear if you want an early season pear. There are other very good ones, but it's an interesting pear. I had an order for these from a sort of important garden, so I guess they really like it. It says little Seckle. I will try and raise that. Onward's a very nice pear as well. It's quite a robust, big pear. I guess a bit like a sort of commies. Obviously not ripe yet. Moving on. That's the Vicar of Winkfield, which I think is probably a cooking-y type pear. And the one before, oh, Beurre super fan. That's lovely. It's not ripe either. A lot of these hard to Chaumontel. That's not ready. These are little Chaumontels. I say I'm going to race through. I'm not really racing through at any rate of knots, and I've only got sort of 20 minutes to do this. Josephine de Malines. Again, you can. I mean, I can tell a mile off these aren't ready. Okay, so this is a Red Williams, and this is partly why I wanted to do the video today. I've been putting it off for a little while, but there are some things that are just still hanging on. So that has got the Williams shape to it. I don't believe the Red Williams is nearly as good as the real deal, but I mean, it is a very, very attractive pear. You know, disregard all the sort of bruising on it. I can't help that, but that's very strange. It tastes like sweets. It tastes a bit, so it doesn't, it's not the sophisticated type pear flavor that I like, but it does taste a lot like I want to say cherry flavored sweets from America. I've had cherry flavored sweets from America before. It tastes a lot like cherry flavored sweets from America. The sort of, yeah, it doesn't taste like pears. Interesting. If you like cherry flavored sweets from America, have that. That's the Red Williams. Passé Crescent. Yeah, a lot of these are not ripe. There's Nouveau Poitiers, so that's got a very distinct sort of sidewaysy thing on it. What do you call it? Stalk. This is Catillac. Obviously a big cooking pear. Very good for pickling. My dad used to pickle that all the time. Now this looks ripe. You can tell sort of maybe on the camera. This one suddenly is a bit, it glows, and yeah, it just pops straight off. So that's Doyen Boussac. Is this nice? I'm not sure how good this will be. Yeah, it's a sort of refreshing, acidic, watery pear. So it's not buttery in any way. It's quite granular inside. It probably these types of pears don't go mushy. They're not the buttery type, so they're actually, you get a bit more sort of play in terms of which day to pick them and when to store, how long you can store them for. But they obviously never reach the peak of what I think a pear can be. But they are nice. They're slightly more acidic. So Durondo is one that's very similar to this, where it has a bit of bite to it. Slight. The juice is spectacular, but because it's not buttery, you have to sort of chew it a little bit, and it's a little bit grainy. I'm going to try and describe the juice. I mean, it's not appley at all. I mean, it tastes a lot like a Durondo. It's just slightly more acidic than a sort of very sweet pear, but with a subtle pear flavor to it. But it doesn't taste anything like artificial pear flavor. So weirdly enough, artificial, where, you know, most people know artificial apple flavor doesn't taste anything like apples. Artificial pear flavor tastes just like pears. So this is Fondant d'Automne, which I like a lot. Fondant obviously is sort of, again, a description of it being quite a soft pear. I'm not quite sure if this will be ripe yet. Yeah, so that's fantastic. That melts in your mouth. It's a lot sweeter than a Williams. Again, I'm hoping people know Williams as a benchmark. It's lovely and buttery, like it is a fondant basically. It's also, it's almost a miracle how this firm thing is just like so sweet and soft inside. The texture of this is fantastic. It's the kind of thing that I would take in the house and just chop up and give to the kids, because the kids, they obviously, a soft apple is not great. A soft pear, you know, even they appreciate that that is a thing of beauty. There's no way you can buy this. This is amazing. I do grow a lot of fondant totem. I do try and push it. I remember certainly one person who came to the nursery really liked it because he was lacking so many teeth. He was an old boy who basically grew up on a fruit farm and lost his teeth. I mean, I've got prescription toothpaste to try and stop that. I'm going to get more of these later for the kids. Oof, 20 minutes left. I think this is Louis. No, this is Pharrell, an Italian pear. So the Italians also grew pears. Not ripe. Yeah, there's a few fondant totems on the floor, so I should hoover them up. Duchess Angoulême. I like this pear. It's obviously not ready yet. That would hurt if you throw it on someone. So everyone knows Comis. This is red Comis. It's not ready. It is red, but it's not ready to eat. Yeah, I don't even think it's that attractive. I don't much like the red versions of pears, but obviously someone has thought they're great. Packham's Triumph, that's not ready yet. So this is one I mentioned earlier. This is Durondo. I think it's a lovely looking pear. I think it's Belgian. It sort of looks like copper that you've sort of banged to make a... I mean, that's still green. It should... Yeah, I mean, that's the sort of goldeny colour. Maybe it doesn't quite work on the camera. But yeah, it's a lovely pear. It's also, I mean, this old tree, a lot of these trees on the quince rootstocks have basically reached the point where they don't branch anymore. It's a lovely, it's very branchy, so it's very useful as a espalier. It's got lovely red leaves in the autumn. All pears have got lovely leaves in the autumn. So this one, this is the daddy. This is Williams. It's a very distinct looking pear. Bit fat. There's lots of them on the floor and they go... So that one's probably okay as well. That one is the riper yellow one. This is the one I just picked off the tree, so we can try them together. So eventually they'll go to this color as well, where that's too ripe. Yeah, this one's probably been on the floor for a few days. Someone's had a go. Let me try the less ripe one first. So the one I've just picked off the tree. So that has the distinct, I mean, it is soft, but not super soft. It has the very distinct pear, artificial pear flavor to it, which that sort of undersells it because it is a fantastic flavor. And basically wherever they're getting the artificial pear flavor from, they're actually just getting it correct. It's not like watermelon flavor or apple flavor, which are both completely off, but everyone knows what they are, or even cherry flavor, which is just not how cherries taste. Pear flavor tastes like pear. I mean, it's very... If anyone remembers, they did pear flavored fruit pastels for a period. This is exactly that. But I mean, it's the same as all pear sweets. They were all actually correct flavors. Not quite pear drops, but similar. Pear drops are a little bit different, weirdly. This was the one off the floor, so it's much more golden, because I tend to say they sort of sing at you when they're ready. They sort of... You can see them from afar. So on the same tree, there'll be one that looks like this and one that looks like that. Pick this one, try it. It might be overripe, but it's worth trying. So this I expect will be much more juicy, like buttery and watery. It's almost over, but that is fantastic. Again, I don't know how it's holding itself together. It's literally probably the last day it will be like this. But you just have to enjoy that pear on that day. Almost drop everything and just eat the pear. I would say that's the best early season pear. You certainly won't be disappointed. It's a lovely tree. You can, again, train this as an espalier quite easily. Nice growth on it, nice healthy. Big fruit. There's another one there. That's a big old fruit there. There's a handful. Scale. Yeah, it's a big fruit. Okay, racing on. Olivia de Serre, you know, squat little pear. It's not ready yet. What's this ugly thing? I say ugly. It's not it's not pear-shaped. This is Doyen Blanc. I think that's probably ripe actually, so there's a bit of insect damage. That's kind of gone inside. Let me pick a different one. Sweet, but oh, it's got a very distinct rosewater flavor, but it's kind of dry, so it's not buttery. It's not quite the Doyen, but the Doyen of white. It is interesting. It's just that texture is not appealing for me personally. Next one along, Bristol Cross is good. It's not ready yet. You can see some of the autumn color. Oh, there's some nice autumn leaves there. It got a bit dry earlier, so things are looking autumny. That is Bure Bedford. That's also a nice pear, not ready. Comte de Lamy, not ready. Haken's Incomparable, they're not ready. I mean, you can just tell if there's anything underneath. This I love a lot, and you can actually buy this variety because again, I mean, it looks a bit like a conference, but it's usually completely russety. It's called Bure Bosque. I've seen this in the supermarkets on the continent. I don't know if you can get it in England in the supermarkets, but generally they'll be more russeted than this. I think it's a fantastic pear. It's not going to be ready yet. I like it. This is Louis Bon of Jersey. It's not a buttery pear. I'm unsure how much I like that pear. But Pitmarston Duchess, not ready yet either. It's a little bit clean looking for my liking. The leaves are a bit off as well, but you know, it's not as good as some of the other ones. Canal Red, that's not ready yet. I mean, it is red. Okay, I won't make that joke again. It's terrible. Bure d'Anjou, not quite ripe. Moving on. Who's this? This one here is, oh, this is Black Worcester, of course it is. You can see why it's called Black Worcester. It's a very dark looking thing. That's a cooking pear. Uverdale Saint-Germain, again, there are better pears than this in my opinion. Again, it's a later pear, so I maybe haven't mastered it or picked it at the right time before, but yeah, it's a cooking pear, so I don't tend to cook much with pears. Santa Claus, sorry, I'll try and point the camera at the pear when I read the labels. There's one back there, that's Winter Nellis. Okay, I'm not even going to bother going in, that's obviously not ripe now. So next one along, this one isn't ripe either. There's a lot of, this isn't ripe either. This is what you could have won, so I'll get rid of them. This is what you could have won. Oh, this is Burr Hardy. So Burr Hardy is, or Burr Hardy as I call it, yeah, it's a good pear. I mean, there's a lot of sales of this pear. People do come back for this pear a lot. It's not ready yet, but it does have a nice flavor to it. You pick it the main season when you can pick commies. And this fellow, which I reckon they're probably picking these in the farms nearby. This one is obviously conference. So they usually pick them at this stage so that they can store them forever. Oh, it's classic supermarket. It's like crunchy, and now these do actually improve if you keep them, but it tastes of nothing and a bit sweet, and that reminds me so much of absolutely naff supermarket fruit. Yeah, if this is the only pear it's sad, because pears are amazing. Apples you can buy in the supermarket are better than pears, and this is probably the absolute queen of the pear scene. This is Comis, Doyen de Comis. Not ripe now, obviously, but it is without a doubt the best pear in the world, without a doubt probably one of the best fruits in the world. if you know, if you're gonna, yeah, I'll say if you're gonna grow one pear in your garden, grow this one, because it might change your life. I genuinely say that. Apples are amazing. Pears, they're not all amazing. That's a bit harsh. Some apples are absolute rubbish as well, but that pear is, yeah, that pear is hard to beat. Obviously quite buttery. Beurre d'Amalis, I don't know too much about that one. Anyway, got to move on. I can't keep going on about commis, especially if it's not ripe. These are looking all right. This is Bon de Beugny, so this is quite a crisp pear. I like this pear. It's a little bit of a sort of simple pear. It's not too buttery. I don't know if it will even be remotely ripe yet. No, but I've liked it because it is it's sort of, it's quite a simple one to eat. So this Beurre d'Amalis, I think some of these on the floor might be ripe because there's so many of them. Oh, it is mysteriously, so it stays green. The flavor's not really there. The texture's okay, but it's not quite as nice a texture as the Williams. It's got quite thick skin, so that's what's confusing. I mean, they've lasted quite well on the floor. Skin is still green. Pears are tricky, see? And the flavor's, it is pretty decent. Very sweet. Yeah, Beurre d'Amalis is actually tricking me, but it's good. Soleil d'automne, lovely looking thing. Is it gonna be ready yet? I don't think so, but that one, okay, that was quite hard to pick. You see, that one's sort of much lighter than its brother. I think they're building some rubbish, something next door. The lovely folk down there with their big warehouse thing that they're building. With or without planning permission. That is almost ripe. The Soleil d'automne. It's going to be one of the crunchier pears, not a buttery one. Beurre Alexandre Lucas, not ready yet. Ooh, this one's glowing a little bit. I don't know if you can see. March, wow. Bergamot Desperate. This is. Why does it say March in it? That is actually ripe already. Yeah, that's come straight off, and there are some on the floor. Ooh. So, the flavor's not quite there. It tastes a little bit of like boozy, like wine actually, but not alcoholic. It's sort of the subtleness of a wine because it's not particularly sweet. Very juicy, but it's got a bit of the tanniny, bitter, very subtly, but like a very kind of sweet, nice drink. Extremely juicy. Yeah, quite bitter actually in the aftertaste, so it curls up your lips. Oh no, I'm running out of time. Beurre 6. This is not ready. Am I going to be late for rugby club? Yes. Belle Julie. Yeah, Belle Julie. It's a lovely little pear. Not ready yet. One of my favourite ones that I just come by and pick. This is obviously way too ripe. What is this? Hessel. So let's find a Hessel that's still half. Nope. They're all soft. No, they're all gone. Belgorondaise, isn't it? Yeah, Belgorondaise. This is a very nice pear as well, not ready yet. Medlar. Let's race through. Medlar, they're not ready. Quince, they're not ready. By the way, if you are interested in visiting the nursery, check the website because there are some visiting opportunities in the next few, at the end of the month basically. So you can come meet me and hang out. It's all on the website. That's not ripe. There's Beurre Mortillet, that's quite a nice pear. Thompson's, there's a few Perry pears in here. Doyen Georges Boucher, that's not right, but this next one is. I don't know, we'll pick one and then find out its name. So that's Baron de Melot. So it's quite a round, eggy, spotty looking guy. I think this one on the floor might be nicer to try. Very thick skin. Decent-ish flavour, but the thick skin doesn't marry up well with the softness of the flesh. So the good thing about a Williams is it all marries up. So this little thing, is it a pear cherry type hybrid? No, it's actually a very bizarre thing called a Plymouth, what is it called? The Plymouth pear, yeah, the Plymouth. I was thinking of Plymouth Cross. No, Plymouth pear are actually quite rare trees, so people are actually interested in that variety. You don't really eat them though. Borediel, no. There's a few down here that are ripe. Look at this. Now that is, ooh, it's glowing. That's right. So this is Merton Pride. Generally speaking, the Merton nursery produce some good stuff. So this is slightly more acidic pear, but it is, the texture's all right because it's not completely soft, but it's not completely hard either. It's sort of semi-buttery, I would say. But it is slightly acidic like a Durando. But it's also, it's not my favorite type of pear, but I would say that is interesting as a pear, and it's obviously got more potential than a Williams for transporting and distribution. Let's try one off the floor to see if they're softer. Okay, so it does improve actually. The skin is quite tough still, which not as tough as the other one we just tried. But yeah, very nice actually with the flesh. Yeah, I'd say that's up there, and it's quite a big, handsome thing. So yeah, Merton Pride is good. Maybe more forgiving actually than a Williams. Yeah, it's a handsome thing as well. Take some of them for the kids. Who's this red one? Okay, that's Sensation. So there's a Sensation. That's right. It's buttery. It just doesn't have a great amount of flavour to it. Again, tastes a little bit like that weird cherry thing as well. Bizarre. Yeah. Interesting. Okay. Racing on. Abel Fetel. It's okay. Burgris d'hiver. No, obviously hiver means winter. These are Perry pears, so we're not going to try these, but look, that's what you get with Perry pears. Loads and loads of Perry potential. This one must be ripe, I can just tell. Merton Star. Again, it looks very much suspiciously like a sort of conference type pear. Yeah, very crisp. Pretty tastes like a conference. It might improve. Bishop's Thumb, another, I think, Perry. So Verbelou is this red thing from Italy, quite an early pear. It's probably gone over, but I'm just going to check if any of them are ripe. It is interesting. It's sort of pinky inside. That's gone. It's quite a weird watery pear to eat, but in the summer it is welcome. In sort of August. Marie Louis, it's not ready, but it's a goodish pear, I would say. I'm just going to ignore a few because I've run out of time. Marguerite de Marilat. Sorry, I do struggle to read a little bit with French names, especially. Very much like a Durando. Crispy, chunky, bitey. Hasn't got a pear flavour to it yet. Let me try one that looks riper. Okay. This isn't good because it suddenly goes very soft but doesn't actually improve the flavor, and it has a it reminds me of a weird soft drink. I can't say what the soft drink is. It's not quite peach iced tea. It's something like that. Maybe lemon iced tea. I think it's a bit like lemon iced tea. Either way, not amazing. This looks a little bit right. So this is Gorham. But I'm not going to try it. So there is an Asian pear called Shin Sui Asian pear. That's all finished now. It is by a mile the best Asian pear. It's this completely rusty golden Asian pear. It's fantastic. It is so sweet. Texture will be very much like this Shinseki, but better. Shinseki, you can see these are still on the tree. Two things about this: it's still on the tree. The wasps won't touch this. The wasps destroy that. The bees destroy that. The badgers have climbed up this tree and ripped it to shreds to get to the Shinsui. The Shinsui is honestly something worth having. That has slightly improved them. I usually don't even pick these, but it's watery. It has some sweetness to it. But the texture of an Asian pear is bizarre and fantastic, and I do like them. Helen's early. There's loads of them on the floor. I've really run out of time, but racing through. Trying to run a nursery and being a dad to 4 is difficult. Oh, it's almost fizzy, but it's completely killing the inside of my lips. What is this? Some sort of peri pear? Yeah, it is a peri pear. Obviously it is. Helen's early. I'm going mad. Look at this lovely autumn colour. So if you grow pear trees in your garden, you get that. Invincible Del Winor. Not that invincible. It's awful. So there is one down here I really want to try, and then I was going to... Yeah, here it is. It's Serene. So this is something me and the kids had 3 of for breakfast, actually, before my full English, as you do. That is beautiful. So I might end it on this. No, I'll do 2 more. Serene is amazing. It's sweet. It is buttery. You just get these. They're big. You chop them up into sort of slices. You just leave them in front of your kids. They disappear. Yeah, it's amazing. It's an amazing pear Serene. I'm going to produce more of these and sell them. I like this pear as well. This is Magyar Kobak, so sweet Hungarian pear. This one's finished, these little dinky things. This is called Bambinella. This is ripe throughout basically August. This is gone. You can see them all on the floor. Lovely, lovely little pear. You get these red ones like Red Rainer. These just go rotten on the tree. I don't think this is worth having. I mean, it looks fantastic, but tastes of nothing. Yeah, Nouveau Celebration's alright. So this is a sort of modern take on a conference again. Not ready, not ready, not ready. And that's Jerry Basma, which just looks a bit weird. Let's try it anyway, just to finish the video. Ugh. Jerry Basma. Oh, I mean, someone will like this because it's crispy and sour and juicy, but not for me anyway. Serene was very good. Red Williams was very good. Beth is very good. Rewatch the rest because I really have to go. Thank you very, very much for watching. Again, as I said, if you want to visit the nursery, go on the website. It's pretty obvious. We've got guided tours throughout the end of September and start of October probably. And hopefully see me on this BBC programme with Monty Dunn. Although he's not coming here, but it'd just be me. but hopefully. It might not happen, but hopefully will. Thanks, bye.